How's it going, everyone? We've got some incredibly exciting PlayStation news to go over. Man, is it the season of PlayStation actually listening to its fans? You know, live service games getting canned. We've got PSN account linking being removed from their PC releases, and now this might be a bit of a minor thing to a lot of you guys, but something a lot of people really dug over the last few months was the 30th anniversary celebration themes that the PlayStation dashboard had, and they had noted that this was going to be a limited time thing, and while they are cycling out here shortly, it looks like due to the positive feedback, PlayStation is looking to keep it around. We'll talk that in a little bit, although my pessimism does reign supreme here, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Y'all know that I was very critical about how this game was promoted, how this game was marketed. I thought it was one of the biggest atrocities in how a game should be marketed, and I've talked about that in previous videos, but we have a bit of an update on the sales numbers, and while the game was deemed to be a bit of a commercial failure to Ubisoft, it actually sold pretty decently, all things considered. So we'll talk about that and a bit of an update. We have a Capcom Showcase happening soon, Capcom Spotlight. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the bat, PlayStation's official Twitter account tweeted out earlier today, "Thank you for the fantastic response to the classic PlayStation, PS2, PS3, and PS4 limited time console themes, which will be leaving tomorrow. Due to the positive response on these 4 themes, we're doing some work behind the scenes to bring these special designs back in the months ahead. While there aren't any concrete plans to create additional themes in the future, we're excited to keep celebrating legacy PlayStation hardware with you all." We'll talk about that second tweet. The first tweet, I saw so many people talk about this in the comment section, talking about why is this temporary, keep it around, etc, etc, and themes have been something that PlayStation has just taken away, that customizability that I think a lot of people appreciated. You know, I'm sure that they weren't making money head over fist with custom themes, but it was something that gave us the opportunity to customize our experience a little bit, and it was a nice thing to have, you know, buying custom themes, etc, etc, but they didn't create any more. So the fact that they created these PlayStation legacy themes, that gave us a bit of that, and obviously for a lot of us the nostalgia is definitely there. I harken back always to the PlayStation 3. I know the PS2 is that console for a lot of you guys, and look, I had a PS1, had a PS2, had a PS3. For me, my days of getting so deep into gaming in terms of following every single last game that was coming out, starting to go online, talking about games, and just seeing, you know, the early days of YouTube, people uploading them, those days were absolutely wild. People were doing wild things back in people were doing and saying wild things back in late 2009. Let's just put it that way, or the late 2000s, early 2010s. It was kind of a wild time, but man, I have a lot of nostalgia towards those PS3 days, and that's the era of gaming that always sticks out to me. But I think those themes gave us a little bit of an opportunity to revel in that, and not only that, customize our experience a little bit. So that brings me to the next point. While there aren't any plans to create additional themes in the future, we're excited to keep celebrating legacy PlayStation hardware with you all. I question, why isn't there any plans to create additional themes? I can't imagine this is something that's incredibly expensive. And by the way, PlayStation, if you need more incentives for people to sign up for PlayStation Plus, why? I'm not saying that I would like this, but PlayStation does a lot of things that I don't like that would annoy me way more than if they locked custom themes behind PlayStation Plus. I mean, they do crazy things. Is that like that out of the realm of possibility? At the very least, first of all, you could give it as a benefit to PlayStation Plus subscribers, and you could sell custom themes standalone to people that don't want to sign up for Plus. Seems like a win-win to me, and I can't imagine that it would be that big of a resource investment. It just makes no sense to me. Or, you know, you want to get people involved, why not do something like with your first party titles, if somebody gets a platinum trophy on it, oh, you have a custom theme ready for somebody platinum trophying it, or getting a platinum trophy. I just feel like there's things that you could do that would make PlayStation just a more engaging experience. Just little things that, I just thought of that in 5 seconds. I would imagine that the people at PlayStation have given some thought to this in terms of how can we keep our user base a little bit more engaged, or just do things that'll actually satisfy our user base, but I guess not. They're too busy greenlighting microtransaction-ridden games and figuring out how to make Concord the next Star Wars, but we can't spend a little bit more time adding a little bit more user engagement, adding a little bit more user customizability. Again, I can't imagine that the investment would be that great, and it would be an opportunity. I'm sure that, you know, it would be a good opportunity to promote games. I'm just throwing this out there, all right? I'm just throwing this out there. If you're telling me that you didn't tie some sort of premium theme with the Stellar Blade Platinum Trophy, would people not be fiending to get that Stellar Blade Platinum Trophy? Would that not get people to talk about Stellar Blade more, given that more people would be going after that Platinum Trophy, celebrating that Platinum Trophy, getting it? I'm just saying, that just sounds like a no-brainer to me, and I don't know, I guess they just don't want to do it. I'm sure I'm sure they've looked into it, just because to me it seems so obvious, and I can't imagine that the cost would be that great, but you know, this is something that I guess is a little bit above my pay grade, so let's be honest here, but at the very least, they're keeping these themes around. It would just be nice if they opened the floodgates, let other companies come in, do their own themes, and you can charge $2.99, $3.99 for some of them. I really personally like the idea of premium themes being tied to a platinum trophy for a first-party title, and obviously you don't have to do it. Like, not every game needs to do that gimmick, but I just think it would keep people more engaged and be like, hey, there's another advantage or another little benefit of getting a platinum trophy. Like, I just think it makes all the sense in the world, but that's my 2 cents on that. Let me know what you guys think, but at the very least, those themes look like will be coming back after they get cycled out tomorrow. Alright, found this news quite interesting. An associate marketing director at Ubisoft has claimed that Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown has sold 1.3 million units in its first month. First spotted by ex-user Timura222, the associate marketing director's LinkedIn profile says that the game sold 1.3 million units in its first year, a number not too surprising, as Insider Gaming noted on their page, reported in October 24 that the game had sold approximately 1 million units in its first 9 months. The game sold 300,000 copies in its first month. Now, that 300,000 copies in its first month is probably looked at as an incredibly disappointing number, but overall selling 1.3 million after discounts and things like that, I feel like that's a fairly good number for a game at this scale. But I really did think initially the issue with the game was, first of all, the promotion, the marketing for this game was an atrocity, an absolute atrocity. Given that people were excited for the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake, then they got kind of shifted with this game being a Metroidvania and had the one of the worst debut trailers I think I've ever seen in my life for a game that's of a historic IP. Go pull this game up. You can have your own personal opinion on how you like that trailer and read the comments section. Like, I just don't understand how these publishers are this out of touch. Who makes this trailer and is like, oh brother, we're cooking with gas, and then they debut it at the Game Awards like, oh my god, just setting up a game for failure? I just cannot understand sometimes. It's just like PlayStation and the Concord Burger trailer. Who sits in a room and is just like, guys, I gotta show you this trailer. We're gonna debut it at the PlayStation Showcase. We're gonna debut it at, you know, the Summer Game Fest, and we are cooking here. This is what's gonna get people excited. It is so insane to me, and I don't know how you can be this out of touch with how your audience wants a game. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown literally would have been better off randomly stealth dropping a trailer and then releasing 6 weeks after that. I literally believe that because they did this game no favors, and on top of that, given that people were excited about the Sands of Time remake and then they got, you know, shifted to this, inherently it was going to make people disappointed. Then you drop one of the worst debut trailers of all time for a game of a historic IP, and what do you think is going to happen? Oh, and not to mention it was priced at $50, which is far higher than a lot of other Metroidvanias that are released. And guess what? I really enjoyed the game. Ubisoft sent me a copy of the game, and I really enjoyed it. As far as some of the games coming out in early 24, it was a game that took me by surprise, and I really liked the game, and I think ultimately that's why a lot of people ended up checking the game out on sale, and it ended up with 1.3 million units sold. But that 300,000 copies in the first month, yeah, that's gonna be viewed as a horrid number, and I think Ubisoft did nothing to help this game. Again, if it was up to me and hindsight's always going to be 2020. You should have dropped this game with a debut trailer 6 weeks before launch. You drop it, and hopefully you hope for the best. And obviously 6 weeks before the launch, when you drop the trailer, you do a much better trailer, and you aren't just so out of touch to the point where you drop that pile of garbage that you did at Summer Game Fest. It's just insanity to me that how some of these publishers can look at the Concord Burger trailer and be like, yeah, bro, we're cooking, or Prince of Persia's Lost Crown's debut trailer and be like, yeah, bro, we're cooking. Look at what Stellar Blade did in the state of play of, I believe it was January of 24, where they had that awesome trailer, a great soundtrack to go along with it. Oh, we got a release date, game's coming out in 3 months. That's how you get people excited for a game. Not what Lost Crown did, not what Concord did with the Burger trailer, and certainly not what Fair Game did either. It's just absolutely insane to me, but whatever. Maybe these publishers know better than me, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but to me, this game just had horrid promotion. But again, the game was great, goes on sale all the time for 20 bucks, and I think for that price point, it's a great pickup, so I would definitely recommend it. One final thing to note, Capcom will be having a Spotlight and a Monster Hunter Wilds showcase next week, February the 4th. I'll bring you back-to-back info about all that's coming from Capcom. First, get the scoop on upcoming games from Capcom Spotlight, and they did note that Onimusha Way of the Sword is going to be featured, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, and Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, I believe, has not had its Xbox release yet. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's why that game is going to be showcased. Onimusha Way of the Sword, we got a gameplay trailer on that. I'll be pretty excited. I know that's not coming out until 2026, but given they're going to be talking about it at this point, I would imagine it's going to end up being an early 26 game. And then, obviously, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be one of the literal biggest games of the year. I truly believe that. I think this game is going to be huge. February really reminds me a lot of February 2022, February of 25, that is, where Monster Hunter Wilds is that Elden Ring caliber game. Maybe not as big as Elden Ring, but who knows? I could see it being a colossally huge release, but it's gonna be massive. And then you've got a lot of other big games coming out. You've got you know, Trails Through Daybreak for me, but you've also got Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, you've got Avowed, you've got a ton of stuff coming out in February. Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to be dropping in February, but that got delayed, probably for the best, but yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds getting a showcase, and really going to be the big final showcase before the game's launch at the end of February. But that is going to do it for me. Again, fantastic PlayStation news that they are going to be bringing back the 4 nostalgic themes with the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PS3, and PS4 anniversary themes, so that's great. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, 1.3 million copies sold. I think that's a good number. Had to go on a little bit of a tangent on that, the promotion of that game, which I thought was an atrocity. But, you know, what can you do? Hindsight's always going to be 2020. And then Capcom Spotlight with Monster Hunter Wilds Showcase, February 4th, be unlocked for that. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.